Everything's got a expiration date on it, and this is what gets me about life. People think they have security and insurance, and there's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. All it takes is someone running a stoplight tomorrow. All it takes is someone sneezing on you. I mean, it's just bizarre what could happen to you, and you're sick, and then, I had a friend of mine that I grew up with who it was a carpet layer, okay? Well, one day, that machine, that thing that you kick to tighten the carpet up with, he had a carpet tack go inside of his kneecap, and it somehow, it's something his blood, he's dead in 3 days. I mean, it's just bizarre what can happen to you. So, I just kind of, so what I do, I just kind of the only way I deal with things, I kind of make a joke of it.
Yeah, and you
That's
test
what I've been doing
fate.
for years.
You're like, hey, if this is going to happen, I might as well test fate from time to time, right?
Do it on your terms.
I think our life, we're supposed to inspire people to bring out the best in people, and to have people question things.
All right. This is verbal assault. It has been a sad week for verbal assault. That was Mad Mike Hughes from our show last October, just a few months ago. And it was probably the biggest highlight for this show ever. It's definitely the time I felt like this is like a radio show that I loved listening to. This is like coast to coast. I was so happy to talk to Mike, and he was such a great guest.
Yeah.
And he died this Saturday. And before we go into, everybody talking about, if anybody wants to say anything about it, and I definitely do, Steve-O, could you tell us tell us what happened to Mike?
Yeah, so I made this video. This isn't going to go all the way to the end. Here, let me probably turn that down because that doesn't.
And I would like to, while he plays this video, I would like to point out, I think that Mike would want people to watch the video. I do, and I don't want to watch. We're not going to watch the full video because I don't want to see I don't want to show the rest of it. You can go find it out there. But I do think that Mike would want people to see it because part of that spectacle, he was a daredevil. And part of that spectacle is either you see somebody do something amazing or you might see him die or be horribly hurt.
Yeah. And
that is what happened here. And I do think Mike would be happy to know that so many people have seen this now. It has gone viral. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it.
Yep.
And I think that would make Mike happy. So,
yeah. So apparently he was doing another test, and it wasn't publicized. Like we didn't hear about it. I wish we would. We would have been. I don't know. I guess it wasn't live streamed or anything, but somebody filmed this just on their phone. They were nearby. It looks like they were pretty dang close to it. So when it launches, and here, I'm going to actually just turn the volume pretty much all the way down because there's really not much to glean from the volume. So it takes off. Here, y'all want me to...
For those that don't know, Mike he's launching a steam-powered rocket that he and a friend of his built themselves. And this was a test for this. Basically, he was trying to raise money to build his balloon rocket combo to go up to the edge of space to see what's called the carbon line, where you can see the curvature of the Earth. So, and this was part of I think it was a Science Channel TV show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they were doing filming for this when he did this launch.
Yeah, he actually mentioned the Science Channel show whenever he was on with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was just like another test launch. Obviously, he's inside it. And so it takes off, and it's hard to tell what happens, but the parachute deploys like right here. It almost looks like it gets caught on the top of that little tower thing, and then it just gets ripped off. And because he's accelerating, that parachute doesn't stand a chance. Like, he's got to be going under a certain speed in order for that parachute to even do its thing, even whenever he's coming down. And so, your parachute deploying on your way up is not good. I thought that he would have had maybe both parachutes deployed at that time. It does kind of look like there might be two of them. I don't know.
So I have read I have read a few different articles on this, and I did find one that said he had 3 more backup parachutes.
Really?
That he did not deploy. So you just have to wonder, well, does that mean that something just happened with his whole system? Did he get knocked unconscious somehow?
Oh man.
Or what? But he supposedly had other parachutes that were not used.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't read any articles about it since Saturday. Because I've been around and I've seen it mentioned, on Twitter and stuff like that, and a lot of people talking shit about him. But I didn't know that he had that many parachutes. I mean, so whenever he comes off of the tower, you can tell that parachute deploying definitely alters the trajectory of the rocket. It starts curving off, and it is possible. Maybe he banged his head on something inside of there and wasn't conscious to act, because those parachutes weren't deployed automatically. He had to do that himself.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he hit a button or trigger or whatever. Yeah. Everything was very low tech in that rocket, right?
Yeah. I seem to remember there being a camera inside the first one with him.
I'm sure there was one in this one too.
Yeah, and I want to assume there was, but I wonder if it had a live feed to somewhere, or if it just got destroyed with the rocket.
I mean, even if the camera itself didn't get destroyed, there's been times that like cameras get destroyed, but they can still grab the SD card out of it, and the SD card is still functional. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if the Science Channel is still going to put out something. I hope that they do. I hope they don't just snuff it, or I don't know if that's the right word, but.
Well, there were others. Oh, you mean like this particular situation?
Well, or I just hope that they don't. I mean,
the impression I did get seemed like that it was going to be a part of the show.
Okay.
The show was still going to go on, and it was going to be part of the show.
I mean, has the show aired? Are there episodes that we just haven't seen?
I'm not sure about it.
Because I don't have Science Channel.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to air last year.
Well, he was on the
show beginning of this year.
Yeah, on our show, he said it was supposed to be the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame how so many people have laughed at him for this, because he was a really good dude, and I imagine those people don't, they probably never watched the documentary, and obviously most people have never seen the show he was on with us, but he just I don't know, he became a real person to us. I mean, even on the documentary, he's like, wow, this is a real guy, and I really like this guy. Yeah. I like his style, his attitude. He questions everything. To me, he questions too much. I'm not questioning whether the Earth is flat or not, but it's not settled in his mind, and he was willing to do something to try to get that answer. And I got mad respect for anybody that can do that.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about, I had come to really look up to the guy, and I think I even said, it might have been on Twitter back when that show happened, I was like, this guy, Mad Mike's my hero now.
Yeah.
And I was serious about that. I mean, you think about this guy and you listen to the way he talked, it seemed like there was a point where he had gotten to, he was not happy with the way his life had gone. Because you heard him talk about being in baseball, he could have been good enough to be in the pros, and he lost his passion for that. He started racing motorcycles, and then he made the joke, everything went downhill from there.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it seemed to me like this was a guy, he was 64 years old when he died. It was a guy that had found a new mission in life. And he was fucking going for it.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine trying to do what he was doing, him and a buddy making this rocket, and literally this rocket was just to try to get money to get publicity to build another rocket. And this other rocket was this enormous goal, an incredibly ambitious goal. And I had so much respect for that. The idea that he would put himself out there and take these risks, because personally, I'm not somebody that takes a lot of risks, and that's something I do not like about myself. I've always played it safe and comfortable, and I don't like that. And here's this guy that's 64 years old. I mean, you saw where he lived in the documentary. He's not rich. Yeah. He was a limousine driver, you know, and he built this mission, and he's gaining traction, and he works his ass off to make it happen. He's going to this fucking city council with a sign going, "Hey, why aren't you motherfuckers helping me out? What's wrong with you people?"
Yep.
Like he was on top of everybody and everything to get this done. And I had such respect for that, because I feel like I'm not that. I need to be more like Mad Mike. That's how I started to feel.
Yeah.
And I would Google his name every few weeks to just find news.
Yeah.
I had looked him up a couple weeks ago before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you see people shit talk him and say, "Oh, this guy was an idiot and he had it coming," and this kind of thing. It's like nothing valuable gets done without taking risks.
Absolutely.
Nothing. The safest place you can be is a straight jacket in a padded cell, having somebody bring you 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
That's the safest place you can be. You'll be perfectly safe. You can live out all your days doing jack shit. The more you do, the more risks you're taking, the more you subject yourself to injury. And that's why I had respect for that man. And even, you know, his conspiracy stuff, fine. I mean, that stuff, it didn't really even factor into. I love conspiracy. I think it's fun. And you could tell he was having fun with the flat earth stuff. I don't really think he cared so much about flat earth.
I agree.
I think he thought maybe it was a good tool to get publicity. Mm-hmm. And I think it backfired on him.
Yeah. I don't think he wanted as much attention as he got for the flat earth thing.
Because people are fucking mean about it. That's the problem. They're like, "Oh, look at this fucking retard." And we kind of did it too when we first heard about it. Mm-hmm. We laughed about him. Yeah. You know, we didn't really know him, and we didn't know what he was about. The problem I've seen with a lot of flat earthers is that they're very smug and condescending about it.
Right.
And that's really irritating to me. When you think something that ridiculous, and then you're gonna down talk people like, "Oh, a globetard." Like you're gonna
a globetard.
I'm just like, that's when I start to just like, I want to get into debate with you and just fucking destroy you right now.
Right.
But I didn't want to do that with Mike, and the more we talked to him, the less I wanted. I was like, why would this guy is fucking cool as shit. He was one of a kind. Absolutely, he was a one of a kind.
Yeah.
So there's I'd like to hear what you guys have to say.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, we talked before about, you know, how sad should you feel about the death of someone that you don't actually know, but, and then I'm going to compare him to Elon Musk right now. Okay. Because I don't know Elon Musk, and I'd be devastated if he died because of his importance to the world, in my opinion. I feel like a guy like Mad Mike is important to the world because he's doing things like this and trying to get answers for himself, and he does have a lot of even if he's not sold on the flat earth thing, and it's kind of just like an advertising ploy, maybe some of those flat earth people would have believed him when he came back and said that, yes, I saw the curvature, you know.
Yeah.
And that's important. And, you know, and like, I think you tweeted it, like he was the last real, or one of the last real daredevils, you know, like it's a dying breed. And, you know, it's a shame that someone like him would have to leave us like that.
Man, I thought he was a cool dude. He was actually doing what he wanted to do, and that was what he devoted all his time to. And it wasn't like he was hurting anybody, because he made sure that, you know, whenever he was doing a launch, he was doing it safely and, you know, somewhere where it wouldn't mess up anybody else's stuff. And
only risking himself.
Yeah, he was only risking himself. Unfortunately, he didn't double check something on this last launch, but I mean, you can still admire somebody who's out there and doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
I remember when we found out that we were getting that interview, and I remember thinking, I'm going to tear this motherfucker up, man. This guy, man. Who the fuck is this
we
guy?
thought we were gonna get in a big debate about flat Earth.
Give him the business.
Who is this fucking guy? And then I don't know. I don't want to make it out to be something that it isn't, but I had an epiphany and said, well, you can always hang up. You want to work on not letting him hang up, so don't ask him shit that. Anyways, and that got me to reading a book or listening to one of his books, and of course the movie. And I don't know what happened, but it all changed for me after I saw the show and listened to that, and I had a tremendous amount of respect for him. So going into that interview, I was prepared, and or at least I thought I was. And then when you get to talking to him, he's he was so nice and so charming. And your sensibilities, if you're a reasonable person, you don't want to put them on the defensive or make them stop talking or go away. He's probably the easiest interview we'll ever do, because you just let him go.
Yeah.
And it bothered me for several days. It really did. That Saturday, and then Sunday was a little off, but I got better by Monday. And I kept thinking about the previous show that we were talking about when Kobe died, about, I didn't know him. I didn't share a Subway sandwich with him, but we talked to him. I mean, it's hard to wrap your mind around. And thanks, guys. I was fine up until we started talking about this fucking shit. He's
baby.
I wanted to talk to him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's all I got.
I also went into the whole thing, when I heard that this was happening with this guy as a nutball, like, this is going to be so funny. And then watched that documentary, and you can't help but just like him. He's charming, and he's very odd, and it's endearing to him. And, or to me, I don't know how that phrase actually works.
Endearing to you, yeah.
It's endearing to me.
I think you were endearing to him too, though.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps
we can play that clip too. When
he'll
Bekah
never
first
know what I was. He'll never know what I was wearing. I never told him.
Oh.
Well, when I heard about that, it made. I watched the video, and I wasn't prepared for how it made me feel, because it was a rough one to watch. It was pretty brutal, and he like Steve-O said, he had become a real person to us. He was somebody that we talked to for several hours and got a glimpse into his wild way of thinking. And it just sucks that what he had to offer the world has come to an end. And it's sad.
He gets to cross that rainbow bridge.
Yeah. Oh, man. Man.
It's interesting because I don't agree with anything he says. But
oh, Dave, I own your name now, by the way.
Oh, Okay.
He bought it. He bought it.
He bought it, and he
Yeah.
said,
The all
"That's amazing."
capitalization.
Yeah, I'm taking you to court as well.
All right. Damn it.
Expect
What
a
do I do
subpoena
about
in the
this
mail.
house that's in my name? In all caps.
Oh wait, that's my house.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But, you know, it was so bizarre that we can't, I mean, I didn't agree with anything he said. It was some of the stuff he said, it was hard to be polite and go, okay. But he made it easy to be courteous.
Yeah.
And it's a interesting how two people or even a group of people can't agree on any one thing, yet you don't have to debase one another with personal attacks.
You don't have to treat them like an enemy.
Yeah. You don't have to tweet that you wish they would die.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Patrick, you have anything you wanted to add? Wait.
I remember like when I first called him to set up the interview, I was like so nervous and excited. I called yeah. And then it blew my mind that one day when he said he was still going to do it, but he didn't want to be on camera, but the guy had an iPhone. Made no sense to me.
Right.
But yeah. But yeah, when I called him, like I was surprised that at first I didn't think it was him, and then I went online and checked videos out of him talking, and it was like, this is him.
Definitely him.
Can't believe we actually got him to do it.
Yeah.
And I was super stoked that day to get that going for it. And yeah, I was bummed out just like everybody else when he died, for sure. So he is going to be missed.
Yeah, Patrick, you were the one that got this thing rolling. So
yeah.
Thank you for making that phone call, because I sure as hell didn't want to do it.
Yeah. I was in the camp of like, oh, well, he's not even gonna waste his time, and like, why would you even make that call? I'm glad that Patrick had the balls to do it.
Yeah, I still got the text messages saved.
Now, Patrick, we need you to find the birds aren't real guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your next
real
mission.
hero.
Now that's a guy we'll tear into.
You're crazy. He's
but it will
right.
all just be winking and nodding at each other.
Yeah, but that's a guy that I'm pretty sure is just trying to sell some shirts.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
So if we could
shirts,
just,
man, I
if
still
we
want to buy
could play
some.
a part, if he could play the part of the birds aren't real guy, and we could just like go back and forth, that'd be pretty funny. That'd be some funny radio right there. Yeah, I do. And I also want to add, I definitely, it has me looking at, this whole thing has me looking at myself and going, you know, you need to get your ass back in gear, because I've gotten like depressed and lazy and fat in the last year. It's just like, there's things that I want to do, and I need to get going and doing those things. Quit dicking around on it.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Be like Mad Mike. Go for it, even if that means fucking going out the way he did. At least fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And as Mad Mike said, let's at some point you just gotta joke about it. So we're gonna start the show. We're gonna start the rest of the show. Bar attorneys and city councils everywhere can rest easy. There are some Luciferians in NASA that are so happy today that the Mad Mike is gone. Let's hit that music and start the rest of the show.
I am particularly offended by other people's bad habits that are not the same as my own at the present time. The way they always do those things, this and that and other stuff that I don't have the time, money, or energy to do anymore. But if you've got some things to say about stuff I do every day that is not the same as yourself at the present time, tell me who? That's WHO, died and made you king.
So I was going to read a sad one, and then I thought maybe I should just read a funny one to get the spirits back up. So here comes a funny one instead. Vivid memory of me embarrassing myself for the first time ever. Be me, 5 years old, currently stuck in class. Out of nowhere, the sudden urge to take a massive fucking shit arrives. Start quickling in my shitty plastic chair.
Quickling?
Quickling.
Okay.
Yeah, that's... Oh. Anyway. Never here, but I feel the warm fart start to erupt. Raise my hand and ask the teacher if I can go to the bathroom. No. Fast forward a couple more minutes, and I'm practically jumping on my seat. Eventually, the bitch lets me go, so I make a mad dash to the restroom. Burst into the stall and sit down. Autism kicks in. For some reason, I decide to screech, "Zupu my foo!" as I let out the remaining shit stored within me. Pure joy. Joy turns into fear as I realize I shat myself beforehand. 30 minutes later, in the bus to go back home. My face when there's still warm shit staining my underwear. My face when a kid mentions that it smells really bad and jokes that maybe somebody pooped themselves. Ended up never getting caught, but went home with the biggest feeling of shame. All right, maybe that wasn't as funny.
Cue laughter.
You want me to read the Forrest Gump one again?
I kind of feel bad about chat. I know we've moved on from Mad Mike, but they chat was chiming in on it. And,
Sure. Yeah, let's hear what chat.
Mr. JDH said sad news about Mike. Fragment said how was he secured? Asking about his seatbelt. Well, he had a 5-point harness, I think, on the one in the documentary. Hitch Slap set, which I like that name. I get that reference. A lot of assholes on Twitter shit talking. And then Fragment also said that I heard a PR guy for Mike came out and straight up said the flat Earth stuff was just for funding.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not shocked.
Bekah, you have been gone for weeks now. And
Thought you were dead.
Well, I had heard you had abandoned the show and you had started your own show called Vaginal Assault.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
That's great.
Oh wait, you're still doing it.
Oh.
You're still doing Vaginal Assault.
Literally at all times.
It don't stop.
Okay. A sure way to get listeners and viewers.
You got to keep the momentum. That's what they say. The successful ones say that when you start getting some success, you got to ride the wave.
Yep.
I'm sure after 4 years we'll start getting some of that. It'll kick in anytime.
Oh no, copyright infringement. What does that mean?
What?
Is that from the song?
No,
Yeah.
somebody. Oh well, that happens every show.
I have that.
It doesn't stop them from being able to watch, though, right? Does it show the people viewing that just happened?
No,
Oh.
I don't think it should.
I'm look to see if I can watch it.
Well, Bekah, aside from your show, is there anything else going on with you?
I'm just having a great time.
Just having a great time.
Finally got her shit worked out at work, so people will actually close other than her. And Stephanie. Stephanie would close, but she can't close every day.
I don't know. Things are falling into place, and I'm doing really great.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, that's good then.
Did you get a notification or an email?
No, this was somebody in chat said, "Oh no, copyright infringement." Or copyright infringement.
I guess they're just talking.
Maybe they were talking about vaginal assault.
Talking shit.
Maybe vaginal assault is something else.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I thought it was vaginal salt.
Oh my.
Vaginal salt?
Oh,
yeah, the Himalayan kind.
Let's
buy
make
it at
that.
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow will be selling it next week.
No, he says no vaginal. He or she, don't know. No, vaginal assault is infringing on verbal assault.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine. We're not going to take
okay.
over it.
All right.
Well, we don't own the word assault.
We already own Dave's house. We don't need vaginal assault.
That's right. That's right. Brad.
Oh,
How
hey
you
there,
doing, man.
I'm doing great. I got two things. One is really fucking cool, and the other one's is kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'll start with a cool one. I got a new job. I'm out of
his job is getting high.
My job is I get really high and I take pictures. So it sounds like I'm just an Instagrammer, but really I'm climbing cell phone towers now. Yeah. And it's pretty fucking cool. Like my first day, I got to go on the SunTrust Bank in Orlando. That's one of the tallest buildings in Orlando.
And then climb up even higher onto the tower on top of that, or?
No, we just stayed on the roof for that.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I guess I shouldn't say we may or may not have used all the safety gear, but we didn't need it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I've got some pictures. If you would enjoy seeing such things, let's see. We'll put that there. We'll put this here.
Brad, you should make some stickers of your face and put them on each tower that you climb.
Yeah.
Steve actually mentioned 3D printing like something, and I was like, I'm gonna print a little dick and glue it to the top of the towers.
Brad's dick was here.
Anyway, we'll get back to that.
I exposed myself here.
This here is a picture of from the top.
Nice.
Man,
here is
you're gonna get a lot of great practice up there, man. You're gonna get some good shots.
Oh,
look at that. That's a great shot right there.
Yeah.
Look at them in clouds.
Look at them clouds. That's right. And you got the freeway over here.
You should bring up one of those, those little tripods you can get that can just grab onto about anything.
I got one of those.
Yeah, bring one of those up there with you, and when you know you're going to be like in one place for a while working, like just set it on time lapse. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Not bad. Oh my god, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, so these are all on top of the SunTrust building, and then I got some panoramas, another panorama from the other side. A little pond where people take little duck paddle boats out there. There's a little Shinto shrine off in the distance right there.
What? Yeah. They have those?
In Orlando, baby.
Get your Shinto here.
Yeah, get your Shinto. And then I got the kind of the sunset and then full-blown sunset. And then one Steve-O altered for me. I think that's the Steve-O altered one.
It's blue. Yeah. It's very blue.
Very colorful.
I always go blue.
Yesterday, I was on top of a cell phone tower and got 300 feet up, and this is the view.
That's crazy.
From up there.
That is awesome.
And
the panorama went a little crazy right there.
I think SeaWorld's over here. Yeah, there's a nice little close-up of what I get to see up close.
So do the heights bother you at all?
Nah. No, the scariest part was pulling out my vape and my cell phone because they are not tethered, and that is the biggest no-no besides, just being stupid and falling off and dying a horrible death.
Tell them, try to quickly, like not as long as we talked about it last night, but like the safety. What was it called? The safety climb.
Okay, yeah, I think it's called a safety climb. What it is so you've seen the cell phone towers. There's the ladder on the side. Well, anyway, the safety climb system, and that's on most of the towers we climb, is that there is a cable that runs all the way up and down the tower. That's in the middle of the ladder, and then you got your harness on that weighs 30 pounds, and you got this latch that hooks onto that cable. And when you're going up, the cable goes up, and when you go down, as long as you don't go down too fast, the cable will go down with you. But if you go down too fast, it thinks you're falling, and then it locks, and then you got an extra little safety thing to keep you from falling.
Because he's harnessed to it the whole time too, but in case that, like he's clipped, but in case that breaks, right? It's like a seatbelt. It's kind of like if you jerk on your seatbelt fast, it'll lock, but if you just pull it out.
So when you're climbing up and down the tower, you don't have. That's the only protection you have is just that little thing. So you.
Wow, shit! That sounds easy.
Is it tiring?
It's pretty tiring, actually. I had to take about 3 or 4 breaks to get to the top. It took me 45 minutes to climb to the top, and I'm in pretty good shape.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't ask you how long it took.
Yeah, 45 minutes from ground to 300 feet where we were supposed to be working, and I smoked my buddy who has done a lot of towers at this point, and he was like,
your buddy, it's Kegel. Everybody knows Kegel.
It's Kegel.
Just say you smoked Kegel.
He had made it about a third of the way up. Sorry, Kegel. Love you, buddy. Yeah, he was about a third of the way up by the time I was at the top. So I got to hang out at the top and try to grow some balls to pull out my phone. You know, my favorite little tiny $1,000 computer that I do not have tethered. So if I drop it, it's done. It's gone. It's not going to survive a fall from 300 feet, even with this case on it.
You got insurance.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you have GoPro on this, bro?
Oh, I already brought that up.
Because it's still my first week, and I don't want to be the asshole that's like, I'm going to put a GoPro on the third.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I was telling him that, like, at some point, he could have a YouTube channel where he's just climbing these towers.
Oh, yeah.
I might get 4 months in, and then, well, it takes 45 minutes to get up 300 feet, so I don't know who's going to watch
Well, no,
that.
you record it, and then, you clip it up.
Speed it up.
Yeah, or you can speed it up.
Yeah, I guess I would just speed up the actual climb part and then just slow it down when I'm actually looking around. But at first, like, I was waiting for Kegel to get up, and my boss was like, okay, well, clip the stuff you're carrying, because I'm carrying a tool bag, so that's an additional probably 20, 30 pounds. So I had 60 extra pounds to climb 300 feet up. So it's a pretty decent workout. I don't have to go and work out afterwards. So that's nice.
You've decided to skip your workout on climbing days, right?
Yeah, that's completely okay with me now, and I don't feel sore at all from it. So that's
hey, we have somebody in chat wants to know if you can full screen the photos.
Yeah, I can. Here, it just takes a quick second. I gotta do this. I gotta move this up here, and then I go boom.
Can I do this?
Well, it was me. I needed to do it.
I can't.
Yeah, no, you're full screen now. Well, as full screen as it can get on Google Hangouts.
Yeah, I guess F11 doesn't work for. Let me try this. No, doesn't work. Anyway, so
whoa.
Well, there's the tower in the distance that was driving away, and I was like, well, I can get a picture of the sunset. So
cool.
I was. Let me zoom in a little bit more.
Well, Brad, Patrick's brother Nick does this. He's been doing this for years.
Yep.
And
we were up here.
He talks about people taking shits off the side of the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, so that did get brought up.
I want to hear that story when that happens.
I was asking about it, and apparently somebody has taken a shit, but I don't know how they've done it because that involves a lot of.
Oh, because you got the harness on over your pants.
Yeah, so when you get to the top or whenever you get tired, you've got this big old clip and it's carabined to these two rings that are like right outside your crotch. And you like get on your tiptoes and then you hook onto the tower, and then you can kind of sit back against your harness. So you can it's kind of like leaning on a bar or something like that. So it's pretty comfortable, actually, if you got your harness tight. I wish I would have tightened my right one a little bit more because I kept favoring my left side, but it wasn't like dangerous. It was just like, I should have done this a little bit more for comfort. But yeah, they were talking about taking a shit off the side. Like they were telling me the story, and they were like, yeah, can you like bring some paper or pull some paper towels up here or something? Because sometimes they'll just have a pulley up here and they'll have somebody just pull the tools up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, can you just put like a lot of paper towels? And the guy on the ground was like, what the fuck does he need paper towels for?
And then there's a splat next to him.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure out how that's feasible, because I know it has to happen. A lot of people have taken pisses off there. I plan on doing it one day. But that seems a lot easier to figure out the proper configuration to do that.
Yeah, that seems a little easier to do.
Well, let us know when that happens.
Yeah. But Steve was talking about like me putting 3D printing something and put it up there. I was telling him, like, you know how Mount Everest is covered with trash because everybody's like, well, fuck it, I'll just throw my trash here. No one else is ever going to climb Everest. Yeah, so there is
flip through the pictures as you talk. I think that people wanted to see some of these pictures better.
There's a lot of trash. Oh, that's a pretty good one. There's a lot of trash on the tower. It's all just empty water bottles. Somebody's just shoved in between cables and shit. I was like, what the fuck? These guys can't take their shit down.
Yeah, but that was why I thought he needed to like take something up there and leave it. Something funny, like a dick, like right, like not on any like the rung of the ladder or anything, but like where it's just gonna be right at eye level at some point when someone's climbing up. Like what?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You should do that. Brad, you said you had another thing, a weird thing. Was that what you said?
Yeah. So something my dad sent me a video Friday when I was at work, and I know you guys may know, but a lot of people probably don't know, is my dad is actually a mortician. And... Okay.
Oh, I remember it now. I see what you did there. It took me a minute.
That callback.
Brad, the reason I laughed last time was because we were talking about limousines and you said that, and I was imagining you riding around in a hearse. That's why.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, there is a difference. I've ridden in both, thank you.
Yeah.
But
please go on.
Anyway, I grew up in a funeral home till I was like 14. Yeah, till I was 14, and then we moved away because the neighborhood was getting bad. When we moved because some crazy lady had bought the funeral home, so we were like, all right, well, that's cash in our hand. We're moving because my dad got a job at a different funeral home. So we moved, and we had known that the place had gotten trashed, and for the past couple of years, I've been talking to my dad like, hey, why don't we get a couple guns and shit, and why don't we just like break into the funeral home just to see what it looks like now?
Wait, what?
Because there might be some squatters, right? And that, was that what you were thinking?
There might be squatters, and that was the like, we'll bring these guns for protection. But just to go in and see what it looks like, because it's like abandoned and foreclosed, or no, it's not foreclosed. It's abandoned, and it's like got one of those do not enter by.
Right. What could be worse than trespassing with firearms? Nothing could go wrong.
Hey, we used to live here. Fucking, I know how to get away from the cops. This is my fucking house as a kid. But anyway, my dad sends me this video. I guess there is a YouTube group that goes around and explores old abandoned funeral homes and shit like that. And they broke into our old house and videotaped it and put it on YouTube. I know, it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Yeah. So I watched that video and it was so weird. Like I had found out about it and gotten home, and just out of pure coincidence, Bekah and Steve-O were both home and in the living room. So I was like, I just busted through the door like, I don't care what the fuck you're talking about. We're about to watch this right now. Yeah. And I narrated the entire thing, and like there was only 3 or 4 things in the entire video of stuff that we had left, but it was just crazy to see how much shit people had hoarded and put in there, because everything was empty upstairs, and in the video it was just full of shit.
You're like, I jerked off in that room, I jerked off in that room.
Basically. And I want to verify for everybody that he did indeed walk in and say, I don't care what you're talking about, we're doing this now. But don't worry,
nobody doubted.
Don't worry, we did resume our conversation about short selling on stocks.
Oh, that's right.
After.
Yeah, I was
trying to explain.
I was trying to explain it, but then I couldn't even remember how it went, and then I was like, "Well, shit." She had said something, and then
borrow the stocks from the bank and hope the price goes down, and then sell it, and then buy it back at the lower price and give it back to the bank and keep the profit. That's how short selling works.
I spent forever one night trying to figure that out, and once I got it, but now I've forgotten. But
it's
But it was pretty crazy. They were showing the video. I mean, I can put it up because it's not like, well, word on the street is there's bed bugs in there, so I damn sure ain't going back in that house. Let's find it.
Okay, you find that. Let me ask Dave.
Find it and send it to young Steven.
Dave.
Yeah.
Still on introductions. I still want to know how you're doing.
I'm I've been better, actually.
Yeah.
I had a small emergency here. I couldn't join early.
What's the smell like in there?
What happened, Dave?
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. I was playing video games with a couple of buddies, and we decided to take a lunch, or shall I say, dinner break. And I said, "Man, I'm gonna have me some tater tots. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have that." And I turned the oven on. I put my tater tots in, and then the other food got done, so I started eating it. And I forgot that I had tater tots in the oven.
It happens.
And
tater tots kind of are forgettable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this place got so fucking smoky. And I was trying to get that. I want to make sure they weren't on fire. And I was like, God damn, I got to get this shit outside. And all of a sudden my phone goes, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I was like, oh, the show. So I got smoking tots on my porch, and this is the second time that has happened. So I mean, and the guys thought that I was going to be coming back to play right before we were doing it, and it was Joe Call. So give him a little shout out. Sorry buddy. I went to eat, and then I had an emergency. My bad. That's why I didn't finish playing.
I can't believe you left him hanging for a tater tot emergency.
Seriously. Left them both hanging while my tots were burning.
Left us hanging too. We had people waiting for the show to start.
I hope it was worth it, Dave.
Well, I've got diamonds on my porch. We'll see.
Diamonds on
my porch.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah, I've got diamonds on my porch, baby.
The tots went past carbon and they became diamonds.
Oh, okay. I got
well, that's our porch now. We own it.
Yep. Anything in there?
The diamonds.
Patrick, do you like tater tots?
I like sweet potato tots.
What?
Yeah.
What a sweet potato tots and a shut my mouth.
Those are real things. You can buy them at Walmart.
Yeah, sweet potato fries. It might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cauliflower tots are pretty good too.
Ooh, buffalo cauliflower. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty sweet.
Oh, you call those cauliflower tots?
Yeah.
It's actual cauliflower deep fried, right?
Yeah.
And covered in buffalo.
Yeah, they have that, and then they have the buffalo flavored ones too.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
With blue cheese crumbles on top.
I mean, if that's what you're into with the blue cheese.
I mean, I was excited about my tots and just putting the Taco Bell hot sauce on them or fire sauce. You know, I just put a big plate of them.
What, you ain't going Diablo? What's up?
I like to put those in.
That's all I got in the house is fire. So
you can't get Diablo up here.
Hey Steve, put the screen on me. I'm just gonna play videos.
While everyone's talking.
Well, I mean, there's no fucking audio in the video. Talk about tater tots. It's riveting.
I don't know, man.
It's riveting. I love it.
Like if there was a way for me to have this playing over here on the left side, then yeah. But now we got like too much going on. I got your video of your house going.
Yeah, it's like Brad show. Brad show.
You should have had this shit going before.
You're right, guys. I'm sorry. Let's get back to tater tots. I like the fucking sweet potato ones too.
Brad, do you like tater tots?
You're right.
Brad?
He's the man. I love it.
Did your mortician dad make you tater tots when you lived in the funeral home?
He would bake them. Air fryers didn't exist back then, but yeah, we'd have the occasional tater tot, and that was back when I put ketchup on there sometimes, you know.
Ketchup.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Completely acceptable.
I found out you should put salt on them. Oh man, game changer.
Himalayan salt.
Himalayan.
They didn't have that back then in the 90s either.
No Himalayas in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or Himalayas, if you're really smart. That's how you say it. Steve-O, what's
your favorite kind of tater tot?
Well, actually, I got something else to bring up, but but I will say that Taco John's They only got them like out west or whatever,
yeah.
but they call them potato olays. They're not like the long like fat ones that look like little tiny soup cans. They're like the
Little tiny
they're like the
Little
flat ones.
tiny
Actually,
soup can
if you've had hash browns from Hardee's, that's what they look like. But the seasoning on them is awesome. And then they do like nachos and stuff. But they call them like potato ole grande, and that's like their nachos, but with those tater tot things.
That sounds
brilliant.
That sounds great.
If there was anything going on, I would say I'm receiving shipments almost daily of things that are coming in because I have my very first arts and crafts show that I will be a vendor at. I've got a bunch of prints. I've already got a bunch of prints. I spent like $200 ordering prints. And then I realized that I didn't have enough of what I consider to be like my best ones, so I ordered some more. So those are coming in the next couple of days. I got a 10-foot by 10-foot canopy, like one of the beach canopies, but there's a lot of good reviews. They're like, yeah, I do craft shows in this, and I do them like 3 times a week. It's really good. And I got an 8-foot table that just came in today. I got a tablecloth that's built for an 8-foot table.
Wow.
And
what color is it?
It's not black. I thought I was ordering you know how Amazon, when you buy something, right, like it'll pop up this thing at the bottom like, hey, are you interested in this too? And on there, it was a black tablecloth. I was like, okay, well, that's perfect. Black. Awesome. Buy, or add to cart. Well, it definitely shows even on my order that I ordered a burgundy one. And that's
fine.
what I got.
Click on it and select your color.
It didn't do any. It was just like add to cart, bam, done. It was like $12, and so it definitely is burgundy. But I figure I'll roll with it if I hate it. If my sales take a hit, which I'll have no idea
because of the burgundy.
You definitely want that burnt tater tot colored one.
You should do a survey. Have a little survey that says, "Did the color of my tablecloth affect this transaction?"
Or you influenced it all by the color of the tablecloth.
Like when someone walks away, I say, "Wait, come here. Does it have anything to do with this burgundy tablecloth?"
I'll give you a 10% off coupon for the next purchase if you tell me what colored tablecloth you would prefer.
Right. Oh, and I got signed up with Square, which is the thing where you can plug the little swiper into your phone and swipe people's cards.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to just be cash. I was like, man, what if there's a bunch of people that just don't carry cash, like so many people. So I got that, and so shit's rolling in, and that's Saturday after this one.
Steve, I'll tell my grandma to look out for you, man.
Yeah, is she in Florida somewhere?
This is,
she goes to those kinds of things,
and I think it's mostly old people that go to those fairs.
Well, this is outside a bar, a pretty cool bar here in town called Jump's Tiny Tavern, and it is a very tiny tavern. And I was kind of like, what kind of attendance could you possibly expect at something like that? But just so happened a couple weeks ago, I delivered to an apartment that's kind of like diagonal from it, but there was a band playing outside and there was a shitload of people hanging around outside. So the place can draw a crowd for an event. So that warms my heart.
Here's what you do. You catch them going in, and then say, "I'll hold on to it for you. You go in and drink. When you come out, I'll have it ready."
Hold on to
because they might not want to.
Right.
Yeah, they might not want to carry it around. They're in there
That's
drinking,
true.
or where they might.
I could have like a little section over here where I'm like, okay, this is sold, and I've got a bunch of envelopes that are big enough to have the prints in that I have.
I think Nathan was wanting you to do a scheme where they get so drunk they forget it.
Oh, and then I
come
get to
back
hold
out.
on.
You charge them again.
But that's a good idea.
That is a good
they
idea,
might forget. They might forget.
Hell, man, I think you should put the shit out there and put sold signs on some stuff that isn't even sold.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just this guy's really selling it. Do you have any
like
more
a really
of these?
big one and just say put sold on it?
I've got one. The guy hasn't come and pick it up yet, but sure.
Yeah.
Or just be like, well, you can order it from my website and then give them a coupon code for what they got, the flea market. Make a flea market coupon code.
Yeah.
And then just be like, order it on my website.
The real power move would be to just jump out ahead of the whole burgundy tablecloth situation and put a sold sign on it.
Yeah.
so then people will be forced to like
These
it.
pictures are nice, but look at this tablecloth. Wow. This burgundy? Oh my.
Steve-O,
Yeah.
pull up that article I sent you.
Oh crap! Wait, hold on. Well, it's okay. It'll just take me a second. Where's my mail at?
I put subject as podcast.
Yeah, but the last thing I actually looked at was when you sent me that blank one.
Yeah.
Let's put that over here.
Okay.
I'm okay.
I searched long and hard for this, for the right kind of article, and I feel like this would be one that would make Mad Mike angry. It'd make him even more mad.
All right. Well,
you got it?
Yeah, I got it. You want to share so everybody can see this?
Yeah, show the picture. Yeah. My boyfriend's wedding dress unveiled my own shortcomings over masculinity. That is actually him pictured.
Mad Mike?
Oh wait. Oh, here we go. I can blow it up. There we go.
I'm quick to blame men for their toxic behavior, but in this case, I, the woman, was part of the problem. I'm trying to debate if I should try my new feminist voice on this, but let's see.
Let's try it out.
My gaze scanned the colorful racks of clothing and stopped abruptly on something I never expected to see. My boyfriend was clutching a wedding dress that he wanted to buy for himself.
How's that? Is that right?
That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe a couple more cigarettes.
Yeah.
Emily! He cried with victorious glee. I found the one! Ian thrust the white garment into the air like a NASCAR trophy. Its laced sleeves sashayed from the tapered bodice and fluffy tulle grazed the dirty tiles of the thrift store floor. I smiled. A smile stretched across Ian's scruffy face, and his blue eyes danced with the giddy excitement of a bride saying, I do. Oh, wow. I managed to spit out. We were at... I can't do that forever. We were at Goodwill searching for dresses to wear during the annual Mother's Day climb up Mount St. Helens, a decades-long tradition in which everyone scaling the volcano that day sports flowing garments in honor of female mountaineers and mothers everywhere. I knew Ian would be among the most outrageous on the mountain. My boyfriend is aggressively fun and a flair fanatic, which I find wildly attractive on most occasions. Like when he's scaling technical slopes in jorts and a cat shirt or skiing the steepest lines in the Pacific Northwest in space tights.
Space tights?
Space tights. Steve-O, you might want some space tights.
I guess they got like pictures of galaxies on them or something?
Yeah.
I've got some.
All right, I'll borrow yours.
The Milky Way right on your dick.
You can. That's a whole new other Twitter handle. Space Tight Steve. Oh.
Space Tight Steve.
But I found myself unexpectedly uneasy with his new fondness for feminine frocks, a reaction that challenged the progressive ideals I'd prided myself on for decades. I'd long thought I was contributing to a progressive shift in how we define masculinity, finally allowing men to be emotional and vulnerable, or to ask for help, or to hug their male friends, or to wear dresses. Ian giggled. Isn't this beautiful? His chest hair battled the sheer neckline. The skirt fanned out as wide as a beach umbrella, a garment fit for a Vegas chapel. I imagined him skiing down Mount St. Helens in it, the lengthy rag concealing his chiseled calves and hardened quadriceps, and strained to find it an appealing vision. It was too much, even for me. This was not the first time I'd found myself a little uncomfortable with the sight of Ian in women's wear. It's not an unusual sight to spot him sporting a skirt, dress, or sarong at a party, picnic, or trailhead. He uses his unconventional apparel as a display of his individuality and a reflection of his fondness for fun. I adore both of these qualities, but I was realizing I was less fond of seeing them exhibited through floral numbers or tight sequin garments or wedding dresses. While it was attraction at first sight with Ian, his closet full of feminine gear put a tiny dent in his desirability from the very beginning of our relationship. Not enough to stop me from acting on my huge crush,
but enough to notice there was an unexpected disconnect between what I thought I was okay with a man wearing and what I actually found appealing in his body. On the first weekend we hooked up, I had to yank a green sparkly dress over his head to unclothe him. Foreplay involved palming his glittery glutes while dancing to Kesha's Woman and caressing his furry thigh along a hemline so tight you could almost see the outlines of each and every hair follicle beneath it.
Oh my.
That was the first time I've undressed a man from a dress. I shrieked the next morning. My palms slapped the concrete countertop as I regaled my housemate, Ellie, with stories from the night before. Oh, girl, what an exciting milestone. Congratulations, hollered Ellie, an effervescent gay man who dons many dresses himself. In his supportive
gay man.
Supportive of any man excited to do the same. Intellectually, I enjoyed that Ian was rejecting gender norms and expectations, but physically, my desire didn't match.
Dun dun dun.
Those feelings illuminated some unanticipated boundaries of where I define attractiveness in men and when I still crave traditional masculinity. I realized I wanted less dress and more flannel shirts, trucker hats, and sandstone Carhartts. When we left the store that day, Ian had a big bundle of wedding dress, and I had some big questions to consider. So this is a story about a feminist who is, her ideology is bumping up against her biology.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
She really feels like she should love the fact that her boyfriend wears dresses and is very excited to wear dresses, but when you get down to it, she's just really not into it. Yeah, and it's causing this internal conflict.
Can't help what you're into or not into.
Well, see, the thing is that the ideas are that it's all just a construct. Everything's a construct. None of it actually, there's no biological truths at all. It's just whatever we make it to be.
Right. Yeah. Mr. JDH says there's a show called Lego Masters and the guy wears a dress every show.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Have you?
Yeah. Will Arnett hosted. Yeah, the dude's weird. Like he's got like bow ties and stuff in his hair.
Yeah, maybe this guy's maybe this dude is not that into the girl, and he's like trying to wig her out and to make her break up with him. And then be like,
not working, it seems.
Wig her out.
Yes.
Okay.
Wig her out. Oh, wig her out. Hitch Slap said her internalized misogyny is so toxic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. You think you stand for something, and sometimes you stand for something just because you think it's cool or it's gonna makes you edgy or progressive or something, and maybe you're like Nathan said, your biology disagrees with that.
As I went through this, she's talking with her friends about this. As I went through this exercise, I chatted with a handful of girlfriends about it who could all identify their own small hang-ups with masculinity. This is so funny. They call their attractions to masculinity as hang-ups. Their need for men who are bigger and taller than they are, or who are better than them at sports, or who don't cry in front of them. Can I just have a guy that doesn't cry in front of me? All these male feminists do is put on dresses and cry. I can't stand it. As we interrogate our feelings about masculinity, we recognize gaps between our ideals and reality. Well, there it is. I'm quick to blame men for perpetuating toxic behavior, but in this case, I, the woman, was part of the problem. Oh man.
I don't know. Is she part of the problem? Wait, she's part of the problem for which reason? Because she was being overly feminist, or because she like the problem is she's not attracted to her man wearing a dress.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah,
it has nothing to do with equality or anything like that. It's he's wearing a dress and I don't like the way it looks on him, and he likes it, so that makes me uncomfortable, and that sucks.
Maybe you're not made for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there are people that would be totally into that. You know, you could find a partner that's totally into that.
But the thing is, this woman, her whole existence, part of it is telling her this is what she was attracted to, and then once she has it, she goes, "Oh, wait a minute, no,
Maybe I'm not. Yeah,
no, I'm not. Maybe I do want a guy with a huge mustache, and if I get out of line, he might slap me around a little bit." Like Sean Connery, you know. Sometimes
I think she's just mad because he looks better in her dress than she does, and she's tired of him borrowing her clothes.
Was there any mention if she would be wearing a dress at the wedding too?
Well, the wedding dress was for the mountain climb.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It goes on. That was near the end of the article. Her talking about seeing him skiing down the slopes in the flowing wedding dress.
Right.
You know, and she ends up saying, "Oh, I'm still attracted to him. I'm still into it. I'm into it."
I bet she's not. I bet I give it a couple more months.
She's not.
I bet she's gonna go find
a mountain man.
She's gonna go find Fernando, and there's nothing. Fernando's not putting on a dress.
No, he's not.
No.
Mm-mm.
He might shave his chest and put some oil on, but that's about it.
Bekah, any more thoughts on this riveting feminist problem?
Leave my dresses alone. Watch Vaginal Assault later. We'll talk about it. That's it. No, it's dumb. It's blowing something way out of proportion and over explaining it when it boils down to something a lot more simple.
Yeah. You can't help what you're into.
Feminist.
You're either into it or you're not. You're not perpetuating fucking toxicity by not liking something. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. What a weird place to be in. You stand for something and you realize you're not into it, but you must perpetuate it. You have to beat yourself up for it, even though you do. You're seeing that you were wrong in your ways, but you have to.
Yeah, because you're a bigot now. You and your girlfriend's talking about manly men. It's like you're bigots or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. World's done gone crazy.
Shit.
Oh, did you hear about Elon Musk and Grimes, what they're doing with their kid?
No.
Wait, so it is actually Elon's kid?
It is.
Okay.
They are going to be raising the baby gender neutral. They're referring to the baby as they.
Did you say ginger neutral?
Gender.
If its hair comes in red, they're going to kill it.
Yeah.
Start over.
Gender neutral.
Ginger neutral.
They've not revealed the name, but they're going to refer to the baby as they till the child decides what sexual gender it wants it to be.
I don't know if there's a quicker way to fuck up a kid than.
Yeah, why are you trying to give kids responsibilities?
I guess molesting the child probably would be worse, but
I think this is a good example of like imposing, like in someone that you look up to and respect, and then assuming that they have similar ideals and opinions as you. Because I'm trying to think like my first reaction is, well, that's got to be all Grimes's idea. But
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I have no idea where Elon stands on that kind of stuff. You know,
I just imagine her talking at him about this, and he's got that look on his face when he smoked weed on Joe Rogan. He's like,
she's just got her pussy out. She's just like rubbing it in his face, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna refer to our child as they."
He's building rockets in his mind.
Yeah.
And she's doing meth and talking about, the baby being born.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Elon. Oh, well. Just, yeah.
Yeah, he's only going along with it because otherwise she'll break up with him and the child support will be unreal. So he's going to stick around.
You get the half a Tesla.
Yeah.
Be out of this world.
A ride on Starship every month.
I think we should dye Vay's hair purple. Anything you need, whatever.
Poor Elon.
Poor Elon. Yeah, right. No, he's too smart to be poor Elon. He won't
ever be poor.
He's got himself in this. No, I'm just saying, like, he got himself in this. I don't know if he regrets it. I can't speak for him, but damn. To have a kid with someone crazy like that.
Yeah, it never happens.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, never. Never happens.
Oh, man. Oh, well. Keep building your rockets, man.
Keep doing it, man. Yeah,
Fucking keep doing it. You'd be like, you know what? Mars isn't all that important. I don't really care that much about Mars anymore.
Just sit down and play some video games
with your gender neutral child.
Quit taking these risks. Let's just do nothing.
I mean, that's gonna fuck that kid up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of therapy in the future for that one.
Oh yeah. Well, any kid that any kid of a pop star or a movie star or anybody famous like that, there's a good chance they're gonna be super fucked up.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just name it after a goddamn fruit like everybody else out there?
Why didn't they just name it after a Game of Thrones character, like a normal person?
Yeah.
Normal white person.
Just name it Dovahkiin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Did you see Steven Spielberg's daughter came out saying she was going to start, I guess she might have started already. She's going to start doing porn, and
I saw that.
Her parents were intrigued and supportive because she didn't want to be living off of dad's money forever, so she figured
why not sell that pussy on camera?
Of course. And then she said, oh yeah, I was also sexually abused by people growing up, not in my family, but
thanks, Dad.
I mean, Hollywood, man. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a very twisted view of what reality is. You grow up around that. Everything's given to you. You got so much money, and especially you're Steven Spielberg's kid. You're not hurting for anything.
I mean, in the mouths of babes.
Wait, what?
Dave.
In the mouths of babes.
Wow.
Dave.
Holy wow.
He got that. He fucking threw that bowling ball almost hit the gutter. Nope, it's a strike.
Yeah, somebody in chat said, why don't they just name him Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a hitch slap said lamp.
That's a good.
I mean, yeah, because Pat, we associate Pat with a human being, and maybe the child doesn't identify as a human being. Maybe it identifies as an appliance or something.
Yeah, you can't slap a fucking species on a baby before it has a chance to decide.
You might change. I mean, today I identify as a burnt tater tot.
And who are we to say you're not?
You haven't been to Florida yet, man.
You smell like it.
Oh. You ain't
Sick
wrong.
burn.
Dave's on
Smells
fire.
Sick tater tot burn.
That's right. It's a sweet tater tot burn.
Oh, Mad Mike, we miss you, Mike.
Oh man, come back!
God damn it! Come back, Mike.
Can I tell y'all some more fucking fucked up shit about Boeing?
Yeah, man.
I don't really have a story. Well, I mean, I could click on this link, I guess, but basically, we've talked about the Starliner flight many times, and they did their test flight back in December, and they were supposed to go up and dock with the space. I'm just trying to catch people up that maybe didn't see previous shows. They were supposed to test out their capsule, make sure it was safe to fly to the space station without people.
It was a complete success.
It was not a complete. It was. They
Boeing's
landed.
Twitter.
They landed. They landed with the capsule intact and all the parachutes open. So good for them. But stuff just keeps coming out about issues that they had during that flight that they just didn't mention to the media, even though the whole thing has been that they want to be more transparent and, you know, let the taxpayers know that are funding this stuff what's going on. Well, today it came out that Boeing did not perform a full end-to-end integrated test of Starliner in this is the quote, in a systems integration lab with ULA's Atlas V rocket. So basically, prior to a launch, they'll trick the capsule into thinking that it's flying, and then they'll see how it reacts to different variables, you know, just the launch itself or whatever. So when they ran this simulation, they never bothered to run a simulation while it was connected to the Atlas V, which is the rocket that launched it. They didn't bother to connect it to the Atlas V simulation while it was running. And that probably has a lot to do with why when they launched and the capsule is supposed to break away from the rocket and it's supposed to reach down into the rocket's computer and be like, hey, what time is it? Okay, cool. I know exactly what time it is. Because in the real flight, whenever they reached down into the rocket's computer, it went for the wrong time because the Atlas has a couple different times. One is from when they first started the countdown, and another one is from when they actually lift off, and I'm sure there's others. So it grabbed the wrong clock and thought that it was 11 hours later into the flight and started ignoring things that it should have been doing because it thought that it had already done these things. All because and we'll find out more because on Friday, apparently, there's going to be a media teleconference where they're going to talk about
smiling.
Steve-O, you're saying they had it coming. Is what you're saying. Because this rocket shit, this rocket shit's complicated.
Yeah, what do we need to run the simulation with the rocket for? We know what we're doing. We're Boeing. We've been doing this for decades.
It's not rocket science. It's kayaking.
Yeah.
Don't they know that?
We're swimming in space, man. It's fine. We know what we're doing. Yeah, so it's there's gonna be more details on Friday, and hopefully I get to listen to that teleconference. But they have really screwed the pooch on this thing, and they're charging more than what we pay the Russians. The whole idea was we're gonna bring launches back home, launch from U.S. soil, and all that stuff, and it's gonna save us money. No, it's going to be more expensive than what the Russians are charging us to fly our astronauts on their rocket.
God damn it. You see this flag back here?
America.
We should, yeah, this should be in America, but you should be doing it better than these goddamn communists. They're also commies at heart.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I mean, their stock hasn't taken a terrible hit yet, though.
I don't think it's not the sort of thing. I think maybe after the teleconference, it might.
Well, once coronavirus hits Boeing, it's going to be huge.
That's coming too. I mean, I had a story pulled up for that. Basically, coronavirus is coming to Florida. They're just telling us. They're like, hey, it's a tourist trap, so get ready. Wash your hands.
It's going to be everywhere.
Steve-O, you should have had this GIF playing the entire time you were talking about Boeing.
Let's see.
Let's see this.
I'm once again asking for your financial support. Here, I'll show it to you guys.
Oh. Who's this angry old man in the snow?
His name is Bernie Sanders.
Is he okay? Is he all right?
He needs your financial support.
I need your financial support.
He's a billionaire, but he needs your financial support.
No, he's a millionaire, Steve.
Oh,
he's not a billionaire.
Oh, sorry.
Let's be clear, he's only a millionaire
But he doesn't want to lose his ass on this campaign bullshit. He knows he's not going to win.
Well, I mean, chat is Mr. JDH. He says between this and the Dreamliner debacle, Boeing should just shut it down. Hid tons of stuff about the Dreamliners, and all of them are grounded for the foreseeable future. He continues on, said Dreamliners are new oversized 747s.
Oof.
About 12 Dreamliners parked at Memphis airport gathering dust.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's a lot of shit.
Well, Fragment, that's
back.
actually a good point. At least the money's flowing back into the U.S. instead of Russia. That's true. And actually, whenever we actually start launching astronauts like on an operational basis, it's going to be more like a trade-off. Like, we will still fly with the Russians, but we're not going to pay them. And some of their cosmonauts will come and fly with us, and they're not going to pay us. But
that sounds like
now. Well, let's see. Actually,
solidarity.
Well, I don't know, because it's a commercial thing. So there will still be money going to the companies that fly them. Right? Like SpaceX and Boeing will still get paid, and ULA too, because they're the ones launching Boeing. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, at least the money's flowing back into the U.S. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. You guys know Bernie Sanders was married. He went on his honeymoon to the Soviet Union.
Really?
Yeah, he went to the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's open about being a socialist.
Yeah, he said he's a socialist Democrat.
Well, he's going to be your Democrat nominee, so.
Nah, they're going to fuck it up, and then Trump is going to win again.
I hope that Bloomberg does it.
Really?
Fuck Bloomberg. He wants to ban vaping altogether.
Have you ever heard some of the
vape,
shit?
I vote, Dave. I vape, I vote. Fuck you.
Have you heard some of the shit that Bloomberg has said?
Oh, yeah. I just think that
he's as crazy as Mitt Romney.
Well, if that does happen, we'll have to bring some of that out, because we are in no way a political show, but I do like making fun of various things. For instance, Biden has been a fun one for a few years. He just said the other day that he was happy to be running for Senate. He said that in South Carolina, so that was good.
Have you bothered to watch any of the debates?
No. I've seen Well, I saw a little bit of the first one.
I started to watch. Yeah, I watched one, and it's it was actually kind of funny. Like they did say, no matter who wins, we're all gonna support them, and we're all gonna be supportive. But it seems like they've just gotten right back into just tearing each other's throats out.
Oh, we watched the first one at your house, actually.
Yeah,
remember that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be watching. Yeah, I'll be watching when Trump is debating whoever the fuck.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, when it actually comes to when they have your two candidates. Yeah, definitely.
That will be entertaining.
Yeah, right now it's kind of a crap show.
Oh, it'll be even bigger one.
Yeah.
It'll be even bigger one when that happens. All right, Bekah. Now, we have not had a poem in so long.
Yeah, I can tell how uncultured you guys have become.
Yeah, I do feel more brutish.
It's your fault. Just saying. Somebody had to say it.
I hope you've been.
I deserve that.
Things down.
Oh, of course I've been writing. This poem is called The Safety Climb. Does it have to happen? We have a way of going back trying to get that answer. You should really have respect for the ambitious and for the curvature. Never being caught is pretty tiring. You have to play it safe to support this transaction. Starting to crave the feeling is enough to stop from acting. But wearing a wedding dress for the climb will not help you survive the fall, even with that many parachutes. But anything worth doing is worth a risk.
Bitch, you still got it after all these years.
After being gone so many years.
I almost forgot what she looked like and all that stuff.
Yeah. Me too.
Thank you, Bekah. We're glad you're back. Hopefully you can stick around. Ditch that other fucking podcast, please.
No, it's going very well.
And change the name to Vaginal Salt.
Okay.
Change it.
Season that shit.
Salt.
Yeah, season that shit.
We'll sue you and buy your name. We'll own your name. Because with capital letters, we'll own your name. That is how it works. Thank you, everyone. Rest in peace, Mad Mike.
Yes.
Sad we didn't get to see you go into space. And we're gonna keep doing the show. We're still here.
Thank you to Haywood Banks.
Thank you to Haywood.
Thanks, Haywood.
Even though we get a copyright strike on every episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I put that link on the Twitter every week so that you can go ahead and get in chat. Hell, if you got a topic discussion or a topic suggestion, you can throw it in chat hours. Like, as long as I've got that link out, you can get in the chat and you can go ahead and type something out and we'll see it. And then, yeah, and we're live on YouTube. For y'all audio listeners, we are live on YouTube every Wednesday.
Click that bell.
10:30-ish.
Slap that like. Yep. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube. Verbal Assault Podcast. You should find us.
Yep. And be sure to leave a 5-star review on iTunes or like and subscribe us wherever you get your podcast from, and support us on patreon.com/verbal assault.
I'm going to need you to get a pen and paper. I need you to write this down. Have you got it in your hands? Okay. Write down 865-316-6955. Call that number and tell me why you didn't write it down, because you fucking didn't. I know you didn't. You're listening to this wherever you are right now, and you didn't write down that fucking number. Because if you did write down that number, well, good. You know what number to call, or you're gonna cheat and just back it up in the podcast. But call up. Just fucking call. God damn it. The fuck is the matter with you? Just do it. Somebody say something, or I'll keep going.
Deuces!